Good evening, everybody. I call this meeting to order. First, do we have any closed session reports?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. I am going to ask. Can I pick on tonight?
They're all ducking their heads.
Barb, would you do me a favor and come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Absolutely.
Sure. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lister?
Here.
Councilmember Kavanaugh?
Here.
Councilmember Judge?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes?
Here.
Mayor Thomas?
Here. Are there any items for agenda review?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Consent item 5 will be pulled to a future meeting at the request of the contractor.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move that all resolutions and ordinances presented tonight be read in title only and all further reading be waived.
Second.
Call for a vote.
Way too fast. They didn't expect me to actually.
Not working?
It's not there.
No. I'll call roll. It's not working, Mr. Mayor. We'll try it again. No. Councilmember Lister?
Yes.
Councilmember Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Councilmember Judge?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes?
Yes.
Mayor Thomas?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. If any member of the city council may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should declare so at this time. I'm seeing none.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, the first item on the agenda is item 1D1, presentation of a proclamation declaring the month of September 2024 as Preparedness Month, and Emergency Services Manager Eileen Connors is here to present this item, and accepting the proclamation are the volunteer disaster service workers.
Whereas September is Emergency Preparedness Month in Simi Valley, which is an important opportunity for residents and businesses to build a culture of preparedness. And whereas Emergency Preparedness Month helps individuals, much better, excuse me on that, helps individuals take steps towards personal preparedness and assist households, workplaces, schools, institutions of higher learning, houses of worship, and community-based organizations in preparing for a disaster, which can reduce fatalities and economic devastation due to a major crisis. And whereas in 2024 alone, Simi Valley was impacted by winter storm events and summer brush fires, which tested the community's resiliency on multiple fronts simultaneously and demonstrated the importance of personal preparedness and knowing the evacuation routes out of your neighborhood. And whereas the Simi Valley Office of Emergency Services has created the My Emergency Plan Preparedness Booklet available for download on the city's website to help residents best plan for an emergency by making a plan, building a kit, and staying informed. And whereas everyone who completes the Community Emergency Response Training, or CERT, will increase their preparedness, understand the types of disasters that can occur in our community, and build their resiliency skills to better protect themselves and help their neighbors during a crisis. Now, therefore, the month of September 2024 is hereby proclaimed Emergency Preparedness Month in the city of Simi Valley, a time to prepare, to encourage all residents, businesses, and organizations to participate in preparedness activities and work towards creating a more resilient Simi Valley. Presented this 9th day of September 2024. I'd like to add that there are still openings in the CERT training that begins Wednesday, September 11th. Please sign up at vcfdcares.org.
I'm going to let you speak, but first, I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your own lives to train and be prepared to help our city in time of need. Thank you very much.
I have a few things to say. Thank you, Mayor and City Council members, for recognizing the importance of preparedness. One of the best ways to prepare for disaster is CERT training, Community Emergency Response Training. At least one City Council member has gone through CERT, Dee Dee Kavanaugh. Oh, you have two? Oh, two, whoa. Where's the rest of you?
We have Dee Dee.
I'll be looking for you. You're strongly urged to take a CERT class. It starts Wednesday. You can just walk into the class. Go to the police department lobby. There's a conference room alongside there. We'll greet you and get you signed up. Or you can go on to Ventura County Fire Department website and look for CERT for Simi Valley and sign up there. They're still available spaces. The training consists of 6 Wednesday evenings and a final simulation on a Sunday. One of the keys is Saturday, that's right. I was just testing you. The real key about CERT is learning what to do in case of a major disaster. If you don't know what to do, how are you going to take care of your family? And it's free. You walk out with a backpack with some starter elements in it, and you can add more stuff to it. And I'm looking for all of you to be there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who's that again?
One at a time. Hold on.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 1D2, presentation of a proclamation declaring the month of September 2024 as Suicide Prevention Month, and Community Services Coordinator Ryan Fowler is here to present this item.
Good evening, Mayor Thomas and members of the City Council. The month of September 2024 is recognized as Suicide Prevention Month. To accept the proclamation, I would like to invite the following individuals to come forward to the left of the podium. Amanda Fagan, Director of Planning and Sustainability, Ventura County Transportation Commission, and Youth Council members Ethan Bott, Pratika Bijith, Chloe Drury,
How are you?
Abhishek Kambe, Advaith Nair, Hannah Kalo, Nandiha Krishnamurthy, Rhythmika Naveen, Kalissa Rowe, Sadie Rowe, and Amin Srijith. The proclamation reads, whereas the highest number ever recorded of Americans died by suicide in 2023, and whereas 4.8 million people in the United States have lost a loved one to suicide, and whereas in these challenging times, messages of hope and healing are needed more than ever, and whereas many individuals have a diagnosable, treatable condition, and in many cases, suicide can be prevented, and whereas a community must strive to build safe and supportive environments for those facing mental health issues, because when individuals are ashamed and at risk of suicide, they are discouraged from seeking life-saving help, And whereas the Simi Valley community is working to increase the awareness of suicide prevention resources and reduce the associated stigma surrounding mental health issues by such programs as the Youth Council's Suicide Prevention Campaign, that includes a rock painting night designed to share available resources and engage the community in spreading messages of hope and help to those in need. And whereas the Youth Council and Simi Valley Unified School District annually partner in printing crisis resource numbers on the back of all middle and high school identification cards for easy access to resources. And whereas the goal for Suicide Prevention Month is to embrace the reality of mental illness, educate the community about risk factors and signs of suicidal behavior, and provide awareness of preventative measures to help those at risk. And whereas positive mental health is an essential component of a healthy community. Now, therefore, the month of September 2024 is hereby proclaimed Suicide Prevention Month in the city of Simi Valley to reduce the incidence of suicide, presented this 9th day of September 2024.
All right. So this is a serious subject, and leave it to our amazing youth council to actually about it. Thank you, guys. Job well done. Does anyone like to speak?
On behalf of the Youth Council, thank you for proclaiming September as Suicide Prevention Month. This issue impacts all of us, whether struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts or family and friends desperate to help. We would like to invite everyone to join us at our suicide prevention event, a rock painting night, on Friday, September 20th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. outside of the Simi Valley Public Library. Do you need to bring anything? No. We'll provide the rocks and painting supplies. We just ask that you be creative in painting a rock that helps spread a positive message of hope for those that are struggling. At the event, we will be also sharing local resources available for mental health and suicide prevention. Thank you.
All right, so let's double up 2 deep based on height, because I see your photographer standing there ready to go. Come on, you guys over here. We got to get a little narrower so you can get us all in. Thank you, guys.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 1D3, presentation of a proclamation declaring September 21, 2024 as Day of Peace. And Senior Management Analyst Heidi DiNardo is here to read the proclamation, and accepting the proclamation are Larry Borove, Dorina Timbrell, Laura Berger, Karen Hoyle, Rajini Sharma, Gina Troncalli, John Baxter, and John and Jan, Rotary Club of Simi Sunrise.
Just a few of our many peacemakers.
Oh, this is a good group. Thank you.
Sweet. I'll go ahead and just begin reading the proclamation. Whereas in 1981, the United Nations designated September 21st of each year as the International Day of Peace, devoted to commemorating and strengthening the ideals of peace among all nations and people. And whereas the residents of Simi Valley value peace, harmony, and respect for all. And whereas peace is fundamental to the health, prosperity, security, and hope to everyone, not just in Simi Valley, but also internationally. And whereas community groups such as the Rotary Clubs of Simi Valley are working to create and implement initiatives for a safer and more welcoming environment for all, free from violence, discrimination, and hate. And whereas the City of Simi Valley recognizes the importance of promoting peace and understanding within the community. Now, therefore, the City of Simi Valley hereby commemorates September 21st, 2024 as a Day of Peace, which gives us all residents of our community an opportunity to continue to appreciate and celebrate goodwill and friendship, and continue to develop and implement practices that promote and enhance the peace in our region. Presented this 9th day of September 2024. Thank you.
I remember when the club took on this initiative. And I think it's really cool that you did and that we're still following through on it. So good job, guys.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the proclamation. I'd like to mention a couple things. First of all, we have a Walk of Peace coming up on September 21st at 8 o'clock. We would love for everyone to join us. We want to just bring awareness to the amount of, anger that's going out over the internet, or anger, with people, and just to realize that, fear and hurt causes a lot of this, and just be aware of what you say before you actually say it. And they don't think people realize how much hurt they do or how much stress they put on other people when they put stuff like that on the internet or in person. The other thing is we have a, can you hold this for me for a second? No, this, thank you. We have this peace baton that's been passing around the last couple months. And basically what we do is we ask people when we hand it to them, we want them to think of one thing they can do that'll show kindness to someone the next day. So if I pass this to you, can you do that? There you go. There you go. And pass it back. Thank you. Would you like to also be a part of it? Okay. Think of one act of kindness you can do, and once you have it, pass it on to the next. There you go. And then and Bill Clipper will take a picture while you're doing
I'm
that.
actually going to share that the Noontime Rotary Club is installing the peace pole, and we're going to be dedicating it on September 11th as our peace initiative.
Yeah.
And I'm also a very proud Rotarian. Mike's keeping
If
it.
you want to pass it to people in the audience, once you have it, pass it around, and we'll go around. And while we're doing it, can we get a picture really quick? Yes. Come on, everybody gets a little closer. Come on, Arun. Come on. There you go.
I,
Thank you.
Oh, wait, Mike, there we go.
You've lost the baton.
it's still coming.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, the next item on the agenda is 1D4, presentation of a proclamation declaring the month of September as Service Club Month. The service clubs being honored are Rotary Club of Simi Sunrise, Rotary Club of Simi Valley, Rotary Club of Simi Sunset, Kiwanis Club of Simi Valley, Kiwanis Club of Santa Susana, Simi Valley Elks Lodge 2492, Sir Optimus International of Simi Valley, and Simi Valley Moose Lodge. And Senior Manager and Analyst Heidi DiNardo will read the proclamation.
Lucky me. Recognizing two incredible proclamations with groups of people that are not coincidence in the same groups of praise, if you will, and gratitude and all that. I could keep going. Where's the baton? Because I could do this. I could do this. On a side note, and I am going to do this, Mr. Baxter was a teacher for many years, and some of you may and may not know. And my two grown children, I have three, but two had Mr. Baxter. And to this day, they speak of integrity, because every single day he would speak about integrity. So, side note, thank you for that. So, this evening, I'll go ahead and just read this phenomenal proclamation as well. Whereas service clubs play a vital role in enriching our community through their commitment, Whereas service clubs play a vital role in enriching our community through their commitment to service, charitable activities, and local initiatives. And whereas these organizations work tirelessly to address a wide range of issues such as health, education, and public welfare. And whereas members of these service clubs dedicate countless hours to organizing events, fundraising, and volunteering to support local causes and improve the quality of life for residents. And whereas the impact of service clubs is evident through their contributions to community projects, scholarships, disaster relief efforts, and support for families and individuals in need. And whereas service clubs foster a spirit of cooperation, generosity, and civic pride, inspiring others to participate in community service and enhancing the overall well-being of our city. And whereas recognizing the dedication and achievements of service clubs provides an opportunity to celebrate their valuable contributions and encourage continued involvement and support from the community. Now, therefore, the month of September 2024 is hereby proclaimed Service Club Month in the city of Simi Valley, and hereby urges all residents to join in honoring the service clubs and their members for their outstanding service and commitment to making Simi Valley a better place to live. Let us acknowledge and celebrate their efforts and express our gratitude for their unwavering dedication to community service. Presented this 9th day of September 2024. I cry, I swear.
Fred. Fred.
Okay. Well, I would like to ask Larry Borivet from Rotary Club of Sunrise, Colleen McIntyre from Rotary Club of Simi Valley, Joel Haney, Rotary Club of Simi Sunset, and if any of those are not here, just a representative, Donna Smith from Kiwanis of Simi Valley, Gary White from Kiwanis Club of Santa Susana, Simi Valley Elks, Mike Judge, Optimist International of Simi Valley, Brooke Grayson, Simi Valley Moose Lodge, Chris Deary. As far as I'm concerned, anyone from any of those organizations can come up.
I'm coming down.
And if you're in any of those clubs, come on up.
I'm gonna get in the picture anyway, even though.
All right, you guys gotta squeeze in down here so you can make the photo. Okay. All right. Now, hold on. Wait a second. Come on back. All right. So I want to say something. First of all, one of the things that I think is most special about this city that I learned about the minute I moved here is the number of nonprofits and the number of volunteers we have in this city and the difference they make. And it's amazing. It really is. And it goes to every single one of your clubs. And I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you. I have a certificate for each of you. Now, nothing personal, but I happen to have one group that's very close to my heart, the Seroptimists, so I want to acknowledge them. But honestly, thank you all for all you do, because you do a lot, and you really do make a difference. Thank you very much. I have a certificate for each club, so whoever wants to be the one to take it.
Okay, good, okay.
Who doesn't love this town right now?
All right, so quickly, picture with the certificates? Okay. I'm gonna sneak in here. All right. No problem. Huh? Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
And the thing is, the voter group, they're gonna go over, and if it doesn't stop them, they're all gonna go over.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, the next item on the agenda is item 2, public statements on appointments, special presentations, and informational reports. Mr. Mayor, we have no speaker cards for this item this evening. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 3A1, designation of 2 City Council members as the city's voting delegates and alternate at the League of California Cities Annual Conference Business Meeting. Mayor Thomas and members of the City Council, each year the City Council selects 2 council members to represent the city of Simi Valley as voting delegates at the League of California Cities Annual Conference. This year's conference will be held in Long Beach, October 16th through October 18th. Historically, the City Council has designated the mayor and mayor pro tem. However, Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes and Councilmember Judge have confirmed their attendance. It is recommended that the City Council designate 2 council members as the voting delegates for the conference.
I might have a question. Yes, Mayor, are you going to be there even though you've not been confirmed?
I am not sure. I mean, if I'm selected, I will make sure I'm at least there on the day that I need to be.
Do you want to
Is
be
this
there on that?
similar to the last League of Cities meeting? Or is this some?
Yes, it can be.
Well, I'll tell you, the official vote was a very little part of the weekend. If 2 of you are already going to be there, I think it makes more sense to have one of you, or the 2 of you, be the 2 delegates. And I'd still like to, come when I can. Yeah,
May I make a motion, Mr. Mayor?
that's fine with me. So how about Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes and Councilmember Judge? And
Yes. So I move to designate Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes as the City of Simi Valley's voting delegate and designate
Councilmember Mike Judge as the alternate voting delegate to the 2024 League of California Cities Annual Conference Business Meeting, and authorize the city clerk to submit the information through the California Cities new online submission as requested in the attached 2024 Annual Conference Voting Delegate Information Packet.
Second.
Call for a vote.
I'm going to try the voting system again.
And Lucy, the whole system may not be up because normally there's the button that has us tell him it's not showing
not
on it
showing,
either.
okay.
So maybe the
We'll have it
entire,
checked out. Thank you.
entire system.
Councilmember Lister.
Yes.
Councilmember Kavanaugh. Councilmember Judge.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes.
Yes?
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 3B1, Arroyo Simi Bridge Suicide Prevention Task Force Update, and Director of Planning and Sustainability of Ventura County Transportation Commission, Amanda Fagan, is here to present this item.
Of the City Council and City Manager Argabite. My name is Amanda Fagan, and I do serve as the Director of Planning and Sustainability for the Ventura County Transportation Commission. The City of Simi Valley is, of course, well represented by our Vice Chair, Councilmember Judge. VCTC is the regional transportation planning agency serving Ventura County. I'm here today, of course, to share a brief update on the efforts of the Arroyo Simi Bridge Suicide Prevention Task Force in recognition of Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month. And I point to that way. Okay, thank you. The Arroyo Simi Bridge, which is of course located on State Route 118 in Moore Park, sort of that transition point between Moore Park and Simi Valley, was built in 1993 and unfortunately has seen an elevated number of suicides and suicide attempts since its completion. Informal efforts to address this issue have been underway at least since 2014, with crisis hotline signs installed on the bridge in 2018. The task force was formed in 2022 to give structure to efforts to address transportation infrastructure-related suicides through a two-pronged approach that includes physical and community-based solutions. The task force is convened and facilitated by VCTC, along with our primary partner, Caltrans District 7, and also partners with the cities of Moore Park and Simi Valley, the County of Ventura, California Highway Patrol, and the Ventura County Sheriff's Office. Physical solutions include a safety barrier system similar to the Cold Spring Canyon Bridge on State Route 154 in Santa Barbara County. Safety of all roadway users is Caltrans' top priority, and that includes ensuring the transportation system is protective of all users. The project initiation for a safety barrier fence along the Arroyo Simi Bridge began in July of 2022. Environmental review, engineering, and design have all been completed for the installation of this barrier fence that will be installed atop the existing concrete barrier. Next month, the project reaches a really important milestone in the planning process when the California Transportation Commission will be asked to give the final allocation of funding to construct the fence. Following this allocation of state highway operating funds, Caltrans will procure a contractor and plans to begin construction of the fence in the spring and summer of 2025. So this time next year, the barrier fence system should be completed and operating on the system. As we get closer to the project, Caltrans and their Public Information Office will, of course, be in touch with the City of Simi Valley and Moore Park and others to help coordinate and ensure public awareness during the actual construction process and try to address any impacts to the traveling public during that time. Recognizing that a barrier fence is only one small part of the solution to this broader societal problem, the task force has also pursued community-based solutions. Through a partnership with D.D. Hirsch Mental Health Services, materials were developed and are beginning to be deployed for a first responders training on crisis de-escalation and intervention and a broader community training. The community-based trainings cover suicide awareness, alertness, prevention, intervention, and crisis resources. Suicide is the 11th leading cause of death in the United States and the 3rd leading cause of death among youth in our nation. And 128 people die by suicide each day in the United States. The training builds on this awareness information and shares 3 steps to preventing suicides, including building rapport, assessing risk, and creating a safety plan. The first responder trainings cover suicide awareness and prevention, crisis de-escalation, intervention, and sharing resources. This is an example of the crisis de-escalation model that's followed in the first responders training. This training gives first responders tools for how to respond to someone in crisis with empathy and respect. With some really spectacular leadership by the City of Moore Park, virtual and in-person trainings have been held in May during the Mental Health Month. And also, we've scheduled an upcoming first responders training on October 24th. First responders from Simi Valley would, of course, be welcome to attend, and so we're happy to include any that would like to participate. So lastly, I'll leave you with just some resources that are available through D.D. Hirsch Mental Health Services on how to recognize and respond to suicides and suicide attempts. Suicides related to transportation infrastructure, such as the Arroyo Simi Bridge, are, of course, a very small proportion of the suicides and attempts. But they are a highly visible and traumatic experience for the whole community, for the witnesses and for the first responders. As a transportation agency, both VCTC and Caltrans were working together with the support and engagement of our cities, law enforcement agencies, and mental health professionals to do our part to raise awareness and work toward preventing suicides. Thank you again for this opportunity, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Councilmember Lister.
Thank you, and thank you for your presentation. Very much appreciate the effort. And I first want to start by also recognizing the Office of Supervisor Janice Parvin. I know that she has been very active in this, and for many years as mayor of Moore Park. And so I want to be sure that we acknowledge her and all their efforts. And I will tell you, I have a friend whose son lost his life on that bridge. So my question is, you gave the timeline, and I'm delighted. I'm very happy to hear that something's actually getting done after all these years and after all these worries. My question is, though, well, first of all, you didn't mention what the cost is, and I actually don't care, but I want to make sure it's being met, because I think, it doesn't matter, almost doesn't matter. But is there a chance that it won't, that Caltrans will say, sorry, it's too much, we can't make this happen right now, budget's too tight? I just want to know, what is this really going to get built?
So the cost of the project is about $10 million. It's the actual funding has already been sort of earmarked or allocated by the California Transportation Commission within the SHOP program, which stands for State Highway operations, planning, and programming. And that overall program at the Caltrans headquarters that includes all types of maintenance includes this project. The step that's happening in October is that sort of final allocation for the California Transportation Commission to say this project has met all of the requirements for environmental review, for design certification, and it's ready to go to construction. So it's the final step in that funding process. I suppose it is possible that there could be a change in October, but we are hopeful that the project will move forward and that this project does have a lot of support from very high levels within Caltrans and the California Transportation Commission. So any support from the city of Simi Valley that you can provide is of course appreciated, but we do believe the project will be moving forward.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 3C1, informational presentation by Youth Council member Chloe Drury.
Good evening, Mayor Thomas and members of the City Council. I want to express my gratitude for being given this opportunity to address you all tonight. My name is Chloe Drury, and I'm entering my final year at Royal High School as a diploma candidate for the International Baccalaureate and as a student athlete. I hope to effectively provide all present with an update of the Simi Valley Youth Council's recent accomplishments and successes to come. Since the last informational report was given to you by my peer Ian Nelson, we successfully held the Phantom Arcade Escape Room event. Selling out 2 nights, a first for this event, and amassing a total sum of $800, I can proudly state that the funds were allocated to the local nonprofit organization Forever Found. August 20th was our first regular meeting since the start of this year's term. We discussed a general outline of upcoming events and responsibilities. We were pleased to welcome members of the Cultural Arts Center Foundation to our audience, who presented us with information about upcoming events, namely the Hispanic Heritage Festival on September 28 and the Colors of India on November 15. Looking ahead, we are putting our best efforts forward to buckle down on organizing our annual Youth Summit and our suicide prevention campaign. As of now, our Youth Summit and our suicide prevention As of now, our Youth Summit will be held on October 11th at the Rancho Simi Recreation and Park District Activity Center. We will feature a motivational speaker. We are currently promoting this event to motivate middle and high school groups to take part in this enlightening event. In regards to our suicide prevention campaign, the Simi Valley Youth Council approved a rock painting night event in partnership with the Simi Valley Public Library on September 20th, including a fundraiser at Yogurtland with proceeds benefiting suicide prevention nonprofit Hope for the Day. In addition, the Youth Council appointed Nicole Kim as Youth Council representative to the YES Advisory Board. Our most recent meeting was held on September 3rd, 2024. We continued to work on planning both the Youth Summit and the rock painting night and Yogurtland fundraiser. We also held elections for the 2024-2025 Youth Council officers, and I'm pleased to announce the following Youth Council members and their elected positions. Youth Council Chair Adi Nair, Youth Council Vice Chair Jasleen Kangura, Youth Council Treasurer Ethan Batt, and Sergeant-at-Arms Nandiha Krishnamurthy. Due to time constraints, elections for Youth Council Secretary will be held at the September 17th meeting. Congratulations to the new officers and all who ran for office. We also formed several committees. The Outreach Committee, the Fundraising Committee, the Youth Summit Committee, and the Teen Wellness Committee are already at hard work. The year ahead, although seemingly daunting at first glance, is nothing the Simi Valley Youth Council cannot handle. After all, we are here to give the youth of Simi Valley a louder voice in today's city government. With plans already in place for educational activities and supportive events, we hope to maintain the active role this council plays in our community. Please stay connected to stay informed by following us at Simi Valley Youth Council on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as at SVYC2929 on TikTok. Please feel free to attend our next meeting, which will be held on Tuesday, September 17th at 4:30 at the City Hall Community Room. Once again, it has been my honor to address the City Council of Simi Valley. Thank you for your time. I am available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Actually, Rocky has.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes?
Chloe, I just had one comment for you. There was a discussion I was having with other city council people from different cities, and we were talking about informational reports that I get. And I said, bar none, the most information focused and concentrated and well-delivered reports are always from our youth council. And I just sat here you were proving my point. And thank you for the report. And it's great to see all that you're doing. And what a great active group.
Thank you so much.
Well, you'll be just as impressed if you go to one of their meetings, because it's an amazing organization. They really do a good job, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chloe.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 4, public statements. Since there are no public hearings under agenda item 5 this evening, agenda items 4 and 6 are combined, and the council will hear all public statements under this agenda item 4. Agenda items 4 and 6 are the times allotted for public statements on all items other than public hearings, appointments, and informational reports. Speakers will be called on in the order in which their card was submitted to speak for this public statements item 4 for a period of no more than 3 minutes each. Persons addressing the City Council are requested to state their name and community of residence for the record. Mr. Mayor, unless you have any comments, we can begin public statements.
Please proceed.
Thank you. The first speaker, Ashley Page.
Good day to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Fred. Happy birthday to you.
Should you be up there?
And here I thought you were leaving because you were bored with the meeting.
Hold on, one more photo.
That way we can photobomb it behind.
You want to go down? Let's go down.
Sam's going to find out what her name is. When we did the pledge.
Cookie down.
Now, did they stay within their 3-minute allotment?
I know. Oh, you can, yeah. You can do it now.
Mr. Mayor.
The balloons, I'll tie them up here.
Mr. Mayor, in addition to that speaker card, there was another speaker card submitted in the Simi Valley Police Foundation, which Fred a very happy birthday.
So Fred's just going to sit there and nibble all night. He'll be awake.
The next speaker is Greg Schwab.
My name is Greg Schwab. I have a business here in Simi Valley. I've been here, believe it or not, in business about 30 years. You might not know us, but we proudly ship about 1,000 packages a day with a Simi Valley return label on there. Up until last Monday, you might be aware, the building, we had a fire. We're on Easy Street, 51 Easy Street. You might have heard about it. Fire department did a great job. They were there. They put it out quickly. No structural damage to the building. Nothing was compromised. But we're red tagged, meaning I have about 25 people in Simi, 50 people that work for us. About half of them live in Simi, out of work. We have no water, we have no power. What I'm here to ask is, everybody has been helpful up until a point. I've had structural engineers, I've had electricians, everybody giving us the building as a clean bill of health. We have a 60,000 square foot building, less than 800 square feet was impacted by this fire. Trying to push it along to try to get this red tag removed so we can get back to work. We just need, with red tag, we can't be in the building, obviously no water and power, we can't do or see anything. So the leading structural engineer in Simi Valley, a gentleman by the name of Jim Vinci, I don't know if the name means anything, but everybody respects the guy. He said there's nothing wrong with the building and it shouldn't be red tagged. I have a report from him if he wanted me to leave it, if anybody wants to look at it, but just asking for some help, maybe to push things along even another day or two quicker. It's been 7 days today since we're in the situation and just want to get back to work. That's all we're trying to do. So, okay, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Karen Meyer? Karen Meyer?
Taking a long one.
Oh.
Good evening. My name is Karen Meyer. My colleagues and I live in Ventura County and are volunteers with United Sovereign Americans, not spokespersons. United Sovereign Americans, USA, is a nationwide organization with thousands of active volunteers in over 20 states. Today we come to you as concerned citizens sharing information about our state's voter roll database. Research of the state's voter database was done through hundreds of hours of research conducted by highly qualified and credentialed data teams. An analysis of the 2022 election, researched by those highly qualified data teams, using only official data provided by California election officials, indicates serious issues with compliance of federal law. We are here to present to you and the public the results of the aforementioned analysis showing the votes cast, counted, and certified may not be valid and accurate under the Constitution and under the law. We are not here to cast any blame or aspersions on any elected official. We do not suggest any candidates in any race have wrongly won or lost their races, nor do we advocate for the overturning or rerunning of any past election. Tonight, we will present you with a resolution demanding an end to the inaccuracy and uncertainty plaguing our elections, along with a summary of our findings and the laws that apply. Though you bear no direct responsibility for anything in the electoral process, we come to you, our closest elected officials, for support and action. We're asking that you listen to the resolution and take the necessity for valid elections seriously by adding the resolution to your next meeting agenda. Our next three speakers will read the resolution in 3 parts, and our final speaker will conclude our presentation. Thank you for your time.
Sheila Johnson?
Hello. Yeah, I'm Sheila Johnson, and I'm here to read into the record the first portion of the USA resolution. The resolution for a legally valid 2024 general election. Whereas it is a recognized civil right in the United States for every citizen to have free and fair elections. Whereas it is the duty of our election officials to guarantee our elections are accurate and free from distortion or manipulation. Whereas our constitutional system of representative government only works when the following 4 tenets of an election are upheld. 1, the voter rolls must be accurate. National Voter Registration Act 1993. 2, votes counted must be from eligible voters. U.S. Constitution, 14th Amendment, Section 2. 3, the number of votes counted must equal the number of voters who voted. 4, there can be no more than 1 in 125,000 ballots in error by the voting system. Help America Vote Act 2002. Whereas the analysis of the California 2022 general election has uncovered evidence of massive inaccuracies that appear to violate both federal and state laws, including 5,886,198 ineligible or uncertain registration violations found within the California State Voter Roll Database, 2,776,939 votes cast by ineligible or uncertain registrations, 123,785 more votes counted than voters who voted. No one knows who cast them. 2,776,849 apparent voting violations in excess of the legal standard of system accuracy for a valid federal election. Maximum allowable system errors for the 2022 general election was 90.
Jenny Hansen?
Good evening. My name is Jenny Hansen, and I am here to read into the record the next section of the USA Resolution. Certification, as defined by law, is an attestation of accuracy and compliance. The certification of the 2022 election appears to have been fraudulent and illegal. Whereas these findings trample legal accuracy requirements of the voting system during a federal election. Whereas the intent of the voters must be known factually before certification can be lawfully conducted. Whereas the 2022 general election appears to have been invalid, depriving us of the guaranteed protection of our national rights under a government duly and provably chosen by us, the American people, resulting in incalculable damage to our families, our way of life, and the fabric of these United States. Therefore, we call upon our representatives to provide relief to the people and the assurance of domestic tranquility by joining us in demanding a valid 2024 general election that upholds these existing laws and equitable principles of law. 1, proof of citizenship, identity, and eligibility required to register and vote, not anonymous attestation. 2, voter rolls certified accurate and available for public review and challenge 30 days before the start of early voting. Voters added after that date must bring proof of citizenship, identity, and address and an address in person to a qualified official at each polling place. 3, hand-marked secure ballots similar to currency, where imaging technology is used for tabulation. The security features must be verifiable in the ballot image. 4, systems, machines, security measures, infrastructure, and conduct are required to be compliant with federal law for federal prevention regarding risk assessment, certification, testing, and implementation. Thank you for your time.
Brandy Sisting?
Hello. Continuing on. 5, adjudication must be signed off by party candidate and trained citizens or trained citizen witness after being given full and effective observation rights. Candidates and trained citizens must be allowed immediate access to ballots, ballot images, and cast vote records. 6, ballots, regardless of entry source, election operations, and systems, must maintain end-to-end chain of custody, from voter to vote count to final canvass, including auditability and witness transfer with paper records. 7, a National Institute of Standard and Technology compliant randomized, statistically valid end-to-end audit with a 95% confidence level of all elections pursuant to the 14th Amendment, Section 2, must be performed. These audits are to be conducted by qualified, insured, and bonded security forensics or financial auditors, not personnel from within the election system. Reconciliation will include the vote count, real physical ballots, adjudication, cast vote records, ballot count, qualified voter count, custody transfer, and all other paper and electronic election systems, including logs. 8, if the total of unique variances above is more than 10% of the margin of victory, a new election must be held in the state for those candidates affected, unless the issues can be provably corrected by a manual hand recount and a full review of records. 9, a waiver of requirement is not allowed. Only end-to-end system compliance from registration through certificates can guarantee the intent of the people is accurately recorded. Be it resolved that the Simi Valley City Council members stand in support with the concerns and remedies presented here. We implore the Ventura Board of Supervisors, California Legislature, federal legislators, law enforcement, and federal and state prosecutors, judges, and both California Secretary of State and county registrars of voters to cooperate and fulfill these firm requests of the people. Thank you.
Ron Meyer. Thank you.
My name is Ron, and I'm here to conclude our presentation. What you heard tonight is a powerfully written resolution outlining massive inaccuracies in our 2022 election, from registration through certification. The resolution delineates meaningful remedies that will proactively protect the validity of the 2024 general election for all Americans. Your written copy cites many U.S. Supreme Court precedents and federal and constitutional mandates that support the need for such actions. Large numbers of Californians have questions about the trustworthiness of our elections. Official data shows that those concerns are valid, and the law says resolving them is essential in securing our liberty. The cost of not fixing the enumerated problems is immeasurable. So we urge you, put this resolution on the agenda for the next City Council meeting where you can vote to join us in support of fair, honest, and valid elections. The United Sovereign Americans website showcases our initiatives nationwide and features some extremely informative election videos. We encourage you to visit uniteforfreedom.com and learn more about our organization and our goal to restore valid elections throughout our country. That's Unite, 4, freedom.com. One more time, that's Unite, 4, freedom.com. Thank you very much for your time this evening.
Michael Shaw.
Mayor Thomas, Council, thank you for letting me speak. I'm Mike Shaw from Simi Valley here. The first thing I'd like to talk about, and I've got a few, but the first thing is I had the opportunity to speak at the Brown Bag Luncheon. And my God, it was just the most wonderful thing I've ever done. It was awesome. So, and I know some of you, you've spoke, you all, I hope, will participate. What I'd like to bring up is Brian Denart and John Downey. I'd like to get the city council to make a letter of recommendation from the city council for the continuing civic duty by these two individuals. One cannot emphasize the impact these two dedicated teachers have on the young adults. It's amazing. For like 25 minutes, I saw 75 young adults without a cell phone in front of their face or on their ear. So John was nice enough to send me a nice long explanation about and history. It goes back to 2013. So they've been doing it a long time. But I didn't bring my glasses, so I can't see that. So you don't have to listen to it, but it's really good. They deserve it, and I'm sure you probably would all agree. Second, there was an article in the Times the last couple of weeks talking about the horrible shape of the LA sidewalks and the high cost of the trip and fall suits against the city, and then how big the city is and their system to take care of the sidewalks is broken. So that prompted me to say, hey, after I tripped over a sidewalk, I'm going to go ask you guys what's going on with our sidewalks and what's the program and what's the deal there. And then the last thing, and it was the disheartening thing. Today, I went to go put up signs, and I decided to start over at Costco. When I got over on the northeast side, there were a couple beautiful professional signs, bravo, but one was set right in front of the other. Big signs, beautifully made metal signs. And I thought, how rotten to do that. When you think of the effort that all of you have made with your time and your energy and your soul searching to go through what you've gone through to get up there, to see it go that far to where there's a sign, there was a lot of energy that went into what you guys do. And I admire it, I do. I'll quit, and what I would ask is everybody, no matter who's on the ballot, show respect for I respect my opponent, show respect for your opponents. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, that was the last speaker. Next item on the agenda is 4A, City Council comments regarding public statements.
Councilmember Litster.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to say to Mr. Schwab, and I don't know if he's still here. Oh, you are there. Schwab, not Mr. Smith. We'll talk to you about you in a minute. Greg Schwab, who I think who has about his business and the fire, et cetera, and red tagging. Actually, I'm not sure that I could, well, I was just thinking about my small business, couldn't survive going a week or two without being able to continue production. Do you have an update for us?
I do. I actually saw our Director of Environmental Services reach out to Mr. Schwab, so I believe that staff will be contacting him tomorrow.
Excellent. Okay, good. I was hoping that was happening. Thank you. Thank you for the education in of those of you with the United Sovereign Americans. That was very, very informative, very concerning, and I'm sure we'll have further discussion about it. I wondered if our attorney had anything specific he wanted to reference, or whether it was. I guess my question was, this is a resolution they're suggesting we discuss. First of all, is it already being discussed at other levels? Obviously, the voting takes place at the county level. I mean, we don't do anything to ballots. Obviously, we could render a position, but
that's correct. I think that it's being evaluated at the county level, but we don't do it ourselves. So, which is the reason why I'm guessing that it is a recommendation for a resolution, which doesn't really have any effect, but it would say that we would support the measures and positions in there. I can't speak on the content of it because I haven't had the ability to review it, but that's my understanding of what it is and what's been going on.
Got it. And yes,
We can put together a memo for your boxes to take a look at that, and based on that information, you guys can decide if you'd like to put something on the agenda.
okay, thank you. Much appreciated. And thank you for those who took the time to come and share that with us. And Mr. Shaw, thank you for, yes, you're right, Mr. Dennert's, and Mr. Downey's, what they do at Royal High School with their brown bag luncheon is a great educational. I know many in this body have participated in out in here, and so, yes, worthy of being recognized. As far as sidewalks, there is a method whereby anyone who sees a trip and fall or something that might be a problem can report immediately, even upload pictures so that we can address it, whether it means shaving something down, paving something. I mean, there's many different ways it can be addressed. So please, if someone sees that, go on our website and report it. And yes, I think we want to be sure we're all being courteous as candidates. I know it's not an easy road for anyone, and anyway, grateful I don't have to do more. Anyway, I shouldn't say that out loud. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate everyone's comments today.
I just want to thank everyone that came out. Thank you for sharing your observations and the resolution, giving us opportunity to look at that. Mr. Shaw, you're always a pleasure to talk to. Enjoy talking that. And you're bringing items up that need to be discussed, so thank you very much for that. And I'm glad Mr. Fujiwaki reached out to the other gentleman. And thanks to those any members of the service clubs that are still here. I still see a few of you. And thank you for doing that for the birthday guy. It was kind of fun. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to all the people that came out and spoke. The resolution is very, very accurate and very well written. I thought there was a lot of very accurate points in it. It took me almost 7 years, and I think it just happened because we didn't get a voter. Everybody should have got their voter notification in the mail today saying that your ballot's coming. So this is the first time I didn't get one from my daughter that hasn't lived in the state for 7 years. So we may have got it fixed on that one point. But I agree, there are some problems and it needs to be addressed. Thank you very much for coming out and speaking. And hope we can fix the gentleman's business to get that squared away. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Karen and Ron in particular, thank you for putting that together. I see your artistry all over that resolution, and you are well-spoken and heartfelt, and we appreciate that insight. And thank you for the rest that participated in that reading. Mr. Shaw, brown bag lunch. I was told by Brian Dennert that I now hold the record for the most brown bag lunch appearances, and you're right, it's a fantastic event, and I just got to participate in it again on Friday, and our future's in good hands with the youth that are there. As far as the sign that you mentioned and the respect that we have, respect from candidates goes both ways, to each other, but also when you're putting signs, and this is for all candidates, when you're putting signs in commercial places, you must have permission. The sign that was actually covered did not have permission and specifically was not asked not to be there by the business owner. And so covering it up turned out to be not as big of a conflict because it wasn't a permitted sign to be there in the first place. But respect goes both ways. We must actually get permission from business owners to put our signs in those places. So, but thank you for bringing it up, and respect is something that's important. Bless you.
All right, couple quick comments. In regards to election integrity, I absolutely believe in that. I need to reread the details of this particular proclamation or resolution, but I absolutely support it. I think the arguments that I've heard against it are just unbelievable. Mr. Shaw, the very first thing I did when I was elected was go to the city and address them on exactly how we fix sidewalks that have upended, because I didn't know and I wanted to learn more about it because I had experienced it myself, so good catch. In regards to signs, yeah, we get signed approval from every property that we put a sign on. And I know that that's not obvious in the information that was distributed to the candidates, although this particular sign was someone that's run before, so I'm surprised he didn't know that. But it is important. You can't just put a sign on somebody's property without permission. So that is important, and hopefully the other candidates are listening to that. But thank you all. You know what? Especially Paige's presentation. I thought that was fantastic. Yeah. And you're all invited to partake after the meeting.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, the next item on the agenda is item 7, the consent calendar, and there's one resolution for your consideration this evening. Consent item 6, resolution number 2024-37, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Simi Valley authorizing the transfer of ownership and approving the amended and restated affordable housing agreement between the City of Simi Valley and Harmony Simi Valley ARLP, AHA-2024-0004.
I move approval of the consent calendar.
No, nice try. I'm pushing my button.
Councilmember Lister.
And 2, if I could, just because this is an opportunity to discuss it briefly in a public setting because it's here on the calendar, if I could. But do you want me to move the rest? 3, 6, 7, and that's it. We can move 3,
Yes,
3,
please.
3,
Yes,
4,
please.
and 6.
Yes, please.
I move we approve those.
Second.
Call for a vote.
Councilmember Lister?
Yes.
Councilmember Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Councilmember Judge?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes?
Yes.
Mayor Thomas?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Councilmember Lister.
Thank you, Mayor, and I will be brief. Item 1 deals with the draft CAPER, the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, which is a very informative document basically about how we use HUD funds, et cetera, and how effective they are. I just wanted to understand better. Page 13 talks about, and I will even be very specific, this 13 of the report, if you want to join me, anyone, there is a paragraph that says, this is the second last paragraph, the city is a past recipient of home and Cal Home program funds and maintains program income generated from loan repayments. The city currently utilizes home program income for an owner-occupied rehabilitation program. At the beginning of the fiscal year, the city had basically $1.3 million available in home funds, $5.2 available in local funds, $5.1 available in SHA funds, and $401,000 plus in Cal Home funds, basically all combined over $10 million. So it sounds like a lot of money. I realize when you just throw it that way, and it's not fair to lump them all together. I'm sorry, Mara, I know that. But at the same time, I want to understand better than, particularly when I read on the next page, the city's home rehabilitation program, which utilizes the home, Cal Home and local funds, some of the funds I just referenced. During 2023-24, the program did not accept new applications as it was under review for service enhancements to better meet the needs of the community. So we didn't have applications in that program. And I guess I want to know, have we enhanced our services and what are we doing going forward? And maybe what was the decision with that and how are we utilizing the funds I just referenced?
And just so for the record, Deputy Director of Environmental Services, Mara Mulch, is here to answer your questions.
Thank you, Mara.
So I'm going to try to be as concise and clear as possible. With regards to the home rehabilitation program, yes, the program was on hold. We had some staffing challenges with the program, and then we were also notified by our counterparts at HCD that the program had kind of become out of date over time, so we have to get our program recertified. We recently promoted a staff member from our administration within our department to the management analyst position, Lindsay Scaringe, and she's been working diligently on updating both our financial reporting for the program as well as the program parameters. She has a draft of that manual ready for staff review. We'll be discussing that with HCD staff to make sure that it fully conforms to all the requirements that we are required to do, utilizing the home and the Cal Home funding. And then we'll be bringing that program back to the council for adoption and explaining all the ins and outs. But in short, I can tell you, previously, our limitation on the loans was at $50,000, but the program required us to rehabilitate a home, not just repair. So in today's world, $50,000 is not going to repair a home that is on the verge of not being livable. So one of the main changes that's going to be incorporated is it has somewhat of a convoluted formula to determine the max loan amount, but the max loan amounts could be in upwards of $200,000 depending on the size of the home, the market value, and the scope of repairs that are needed to be done. Many of the homes that we've seen in the program were able to have Band-Aid fixes done on a number of things, but didn't necessarily we weren't fully able to bring the home up to complete standards. So we anticipate in the future that while the individual loans will have a higher amount, that, the funding that you noted that seems significant, once we increase that loan amount, is actually going to deplete those funds much quicker, but it's also going to actually rehabilitate the homes, not just repair certain items. And it's important to note that our housing element requires that we have a home rehabilitation program, and a number of other cities throughout Ventura County have only had a major repair program, and they're scrambling to find ways to meet HCD's requirements through the housing element to better incorporate what we have already been doing, but we just need to make a few tweaks to the program to make it viable in today's market with inflation, construction costs, and the fact that we have an aging housing stock that many individuals are in fixed and low incomes and can't afford to maintain the home properly over the years. So does that answer on the Cal Home and the home funds?
That does. That helps very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then just one point of clarification for the local funds, which is the funding that the city has the greatest level of discretion. It doesn't have legislative parameters, things of that nature. We do have some augmented budget authority in there for both the home rehabilitation program as well as for the city's down payment assistance program. So we have money budgeted from that to augment our other existing programs as needed. With regards to our successor agency, or SHA, we do reference that we have $5.13 million available. That's actually fund balance. 1.5 of that was recently committed by the council in June to the Ridge and Churchill projects. So we actually have about 3.6 of unencumbered funds. That fund also has recurring expenses of anywhere, depending on staffing levels, of $600,000 to $800,000 in commitment for staff time to monitor the assets within the community that were previously funded by our community development agency. So while $5 million seems significant, when you have recurring expenses and you don't have active inflows of revenue, the money will be depleted quite quickly. We do have a number of loans and liability or receivables that are outstanding on that fund to the tune of about $15 million, but they don't have a standard repay schedule. So some of those are individual homeowner properties that we've assisted over the years through redevelopment, and some of those are apartment complex loans that we get repaid based upon their, the term is slipping my mind right now, but based upon their profit margin for operating the apartment complexes. So it's not like how we repay our mortgages. However, the most recent loans that the City Council authorized are on a fixed repayment schedule, and staff has diligently been auditing all of the city's assets so that we can have a better handle on long-term financial planning, so that it's not just sitting there because we don't know when we're going to get money back in the future, but we can actually start to do long-term planning. Additionally, one last thing I want to mention is that the successor housing agency is statutorily limited to the staff time for monitoring the assets of the agency and for the creation of low-income rental-only housing opportunities. So that money can only be used in very specific circumstances.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you for that thorough response with that last minute. I didn't even prep her. I want you to know I did not call her this morning and say I'm going to ask this question. So thank you, Mara, for helping me understand that. I just think it's good that we have this opportunity to understand better. So thank you. So I will move that one, but do you want me to go to the next one before we? Okay. Okay. So thank you, Mara. The next, the second consent item deals with basically, I'll be specific, three left turn phasing, basically going from protected, permissive to protected. And so
these are 3 intersections that I drive a lot, and I just want to understand the reason, first of all, for the switch. I'm assuming it's safety-based.
Yes, you're correct.
And so is it based on accident figures that we've had in those intersections, and that's why they are being changed?
That's correct. Primarily accidents, but could be other factors involved, but accidents is the primary factor.
Okay, and then my follow-up question, this is probably the more important, even though this means I may have to wait through another cycle to make my left turn. It's okay if we're all safer, it's all right, I'm not unopposed. I'm not opposed. That was a double negative, wasn't it? You see how I slipped that in? I'm not opposed. My real question is, it seems lately I know that our lighting structure, should I say it's aging? It seems that we've had some failures, whether it be through heat, power, whatever. Lately we've had some issues. And my concern is that we're installing these that we're updating this portion of the light. And I guess my question is, does that mean that we're going to update the entire system at that intersection? Does this work with our older system? Does it mean we're using an older technology to match? How does it fit with the problems that we seem to be having more regularly in that area?
Basically, as part of the project, I believe it's 2 intersections, and it escapes me which ones they are, but 2 of them are going to be upgraded in terms of the controller and cabinets because they are a little bit old and they won't be able to accommodate the new features of the left turn signals. The other signal, the 3rd intersection, currently has upgraded equipment, so we don't need to upgrade that one. But yeah, there will be some equipment upgrades in conjunction with this new installation of left turn signals.
Okay, I appreciate knowing that. And are we phasing this newer equipment in through the others? I mean, obviously, we're not dealing with the left turn signals at other intersections. Is this becoming standard that when there's failures, we install newer equipment, or do we just repair it right now?
We do have an annual program to upgrade about 5 or 6 intersections every year. So that's an ongoing program we've had for many years, and so we do that. But unfortunately, every now and then, and I think you've all experienced it, something will go really bad with some of our intersections, especially underground wiring, which gets chewed up by rats or whatever like that. So that causes a lot of problems. Even some of the equipment may be good, but some of the underground older equipment needs replacement in some cases.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure I'm making Al nervous because I'm getting away from the item that's the 3 left turn signals. I'm done. Okay. Thank you, Ron.
I think it was the lights that were out on Royal the last couple days.
On Royal and then on First Street over the weekend. Of course, that was SCE issues.
I figured it was heat related.
Yeah.
Could you explain the difference of what it is now and what it will be?
It's currently what they call protected permissive. And what you have is you have your traffic signals, and you'll get a green arrow, and that's the protected part. And there's no other conflicts. And when that is completed, it goes to the normal standard green ball, in which you can still make a left turn when it is safe to do so. Under protected situation, you can only turn left when the green arrow is on. And when it's not on, then you have to wait through a cycle if you miss that first cycle.
So yes, so it means that we're going to wait longer at those intersections, but they become safer because you don't have people trying to make a left turn at the end of the light sequence, I gather. Yeah, thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And for the record, that was our Director of Public Works, Ron Fuchiwaki.
I would be happy to move 1 and 2.
Please do. Second. Call for a vote.
Councilmember Litzter?
Yes.
Councilmember Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Councilmember Judge?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes?
Yes.
Mayor Thomas?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, the next item on the agenda is item 8A, second reading of ordinance number 1359, approving a change of zone classification Z-S-2021-0007 to change the zone of a 0.64 acre property from residential medium RM to commercial plan development CPD at 4343 Township Avenue, and a zone text amendment Z-S-2024-0001 to amend portions of Title IX of the Simi Valley Municipal Code to modify setback standards and landscape buffers, and a determination that the amendments are exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. The reading of the ordinance is as follows. Ordinance number 1359, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Simi Valley approving a change of zone classification Z-S-2021-0007 to change the zone of a 0.64 acre property from residential medium RM to commercial plan development CPD at 4343 Township Avenue, and a zone text amendment Z-S-2024-0001 to amend portions of Title IX of the Simi Valley Municipal Code to modify setback standards and landscape buffers, and a determination that the amendments are exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move to adopt ordinance number 1359.
Second.
Call for a vote.
Councilmember Lister?
Yes.
Councilmember Kavanaugh?
Yes.
Councilmember Judge? Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes?
Yes.
Mayor Thomas?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously. Mr. Mayor, members of City Council, next on the agenda is item 10A, City Council Member Reports.
Councilmember Lister.
Thank you. Lots of great things happening in our city the last couple of weeks. On Thursday, August the 22nd, I'm a member of VCOG's broadband subcommittee, and we are still discussing how VCOG can best serve the broadband interests of our community, and so that is developing, and I'll give you more updates as things are concretely voted upon. Met also with our city manager on that date, appreciate her information. Also on that date was the farewell reception for the CEO of Adventist Health Simi Valley, Jennifer Swenson. I know that we were all in attendance, or most of us were there in attendance. Personally, I think Adventist Health Administration made a big mistake when they decided to consolidate with Burbank, but we will see how that all goes. I will say I want to commend Councilmember Kavanaugh. Gave a lovely commemorative speech, and I want to thank Sue Klepper, who wrote an amazing proclamation for the city that I had the privilege of reading. Jennifer's done so much for our community, and I think that was borne out at that gathering, and fingers crossed that we can continue forward with that great relationship and what's happening there. But just thank you to that wonderful administrator, to Jennifer. On Friday, August the 23rd, I attended the New Beginnings Church Community Cafe Beginnings Brew grand opening. They were happy I was there, but they were particularly delighted that our Mayor Pro Tem Rocky Rhodes was there, because he basically pledged to give them the finest coffee in all the land, and he's going to work with them. Actually, it's a lovely place if you've not been there. It's in conjunction with New Beginnings Church, which is on the corner of Sycamore and Alamo in that area, and they recognized that they had a space that they wanted to have a place that the community could gather lunchtime, and so there's a beautiful room that they've dedicated on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's open from 10 to 2. Beautiful place where you can gather. In fact, I've even used it already for a little gathering to have a conversation, but coffee, lunch, etc. Really, they recognized that people were using their grass outside. They wanted to invite the first responders that might have been there at the emergency room, other workers in the area. So just know that that's there. It's a great place to enjoy gathering and having a visit in a beautiful location. So congratulations to them and the best wishes for that. Saturday, August 24th, I was privileged to actually speak at the third annual 13 Souls of Kabul Memorial Run that's put on by Jeff Von Molt, as did the mayor who spoke there. And what a tremendous, tremendous effort that is, that he has put there to honor the 13 men and women who were killed at Abbey Gates, at that disaster, at the evacuation of Afghanistan. Anyway, it was just a great tragedy. In fact, it was the biggest loss in 10 years in that war. And he's not letting it be forgotten that those souls fought for our freedom and died to protect others' freedoms. And so thank you, Mr. Jeff Von Molt, for doing that and for making our community remember and making that part of our community. Also on that day, I attended
the Sky Martial Arts Simi Valley 10th anniversary. I will tell you the tricks, the spins, the kicks that were done on the asphalt there at the corner of Sycamore and Cochrane at the studio there was just fabulous. I want people to recognize that studio has been there for over 30 years. He's been the owner for 10 years, and you could tell by the number of students that were there that it's a beloved facility. So congratulations to Master Wong and what he's teaching at that tremendous facility. It was great to attend that. The following week, on Tuesday, August the 27th, actually, my chicken scratch, I can't read, I didn't do anything. On Wednesday, August 28th, I did attend the Chamber's Legislative Chamber meeting, appreciate their efforts, and appreciated Mayor Pro Tem Rocky Rhodes, who was calling for some action from people on that call. On Thursday, August the 29th, again, I want to thank Mayor Pro Tem Rocky Rhodes for ditching out on his commitment to go golfing. Actually, he'll talk more about that later. He was slated to attend VICA's annual local office holder luncheon. That's that acronym escapes me. It's basically Valley Industry and Commerce Association. Thank you. Which is held in the San Fernando Valley and is made up of it. I liken it to a large chamber on steroids for the Valley, and it includes us as well and other parts around the San Fernando Valley. What I really wanted to share too was that basically the format is that they ask each elected official to be at the luncheon, to be prepared to answer one of 3 questions. You don't know what the question's going to be, and then to go before the hundreds that are there in attendance. And so Rocky's photo and his bio was in the program, and I got to speak for him. And so anyway, I want you to, I hope I represent you well. I just have to tease him just a little bit. Actually, I just had a sense on what question they were going to. So it means I didn't get to pick the questions. If you're on top of it, you get to pick questions that are easy that you want to answer. Specifically, they asked me, Simi Valley faces unique challenges related to both growth and preservation. How are you balancing the need for new housing with a desire to maintain the city's character and open spaces? That was my question. And I nailed it. No, I did speak about our wonderful community, why Simi Valley is the absolute best. With the help of Samantha Little, I talked a little bit about why we don't go all the way up the side of our mountains, et cetera. But one of the things I did address, I specifically want to mention this because I want to thank staff. Yes, we have a variety of ways that we are addressing our housing needs, infill, et cetera, SRO projects and mixed-use development. But I mentioned also that we are allowing, we have a strong ADU projects that are being built in people's backyards that allow for home for their, and so I wanted some statistics because I was curious. So I reached out the day before when I found out what the questions were. And I want to thank, I think it was Kathy Steller. Is that Kathy? I hope I got the right Kathy. I'm sorry. Anyway, I want to thank Kathy, who I spoke with even on the phone, who came up with statistics for me. And I know she worked with Anna. I know Eric Chen chimed in. I just know that lots of people helped so that I looked and sounded good. And I just want to say thank you. But in 2022, we built 74 ADUs. You might be interested to know that. 2023, 84 ADUs were built. And then I had statistics, too, about how many permits were issued in 2024. It's rather interesting to see how there is definitely taking advantage of that opportunity, some of our homeowners. So that was on August 27th. So actually, I tease you, Rocky, but thank you for that opportunity. It was very enjoyable. On Friday, August the 3rd, I did take advantage of the SCAG tour of Port Hueneme. It was the first time I've actually been down on a boat and actually went around to view that port that we have. It really is a jewel of a port. What they do there. We even had us tour the BMW offloading site and the banana site. I've never seen so many bananas in one place or BMWs in one place. And I took a picture of myself in front of a Rolls Royce that was there to be shipped out. My husband said, "Why didn't you move over so I could see the grill better?" Anyway, you could see what he was interested in that photo. It wasn't me.
#1 banana importer in the world.
There you go. So that anyway, it was really fascinating. And I will say that they also chose the opportunity to recognize previous Supervisor Carmen Ramirez because she was very instrumental in supporting them. What was very interesting that they thought was serendipity was that there were several large ships in the harbor that were unloading, including a ro-ro, which is what they call the ships that offload cars. Literally, they have one at a time drive these cars out into these BMWs, et cetera. But it was that ship happened to come into port the day before, and it was named the Carmen. And so they just thought that that there was some serendipity in that entire experience. Continuing, I'm sorry if I'm taking too long. I'll be more brief. September 4th and September 5th, there was a Family Justice Center strategic planning session that took place at Cal Lutheran University. And people were invited from all sorts of agencies and to basically discuss what that should look like for East County and where it should be located and who should be involved. And I just wanted to be sure that Simi Valley had a presence there and wanted to be sure that I felt that it was something Simi Valley needed. And so I'll be honest, the thought of going for 2 full days was a little daunting, but I did sign up and did attend. But I want to thank who was there truly all 2 times. We had Chief Shorts was there the entire 2 days. Thank you, Chief Shorts, for committing your time to that, as well as our city manager, Samantha Argerbright, was there for 2 days. I know they had many other things they could have been doing, but they were there as well to learn and to participate and be part of that. I do have this packet, including a little flash drive, which I can download and send to my fellow colleagues. But at the end, they asked for our commitment. And the one commitment I said is I will commit to share what I learned and to share the value and the need for this in the East County, that we need to be supportive of it, whatever that looks like. And whether it's going to be in Thousand Oaks or Simi Valley, we need to find a way to make it happen and to make sure that our residents can benefit from this. So more to come, I'm sure, in that discussion. That was, so Wednesday and Thursday I attended. I wasn't there the entire day of Thursday. I have to mention Thursday night was the grand opening of the Simi Film Festival. And this one I have to mention because I was there in attendance, as was the mayor. Wonderful thing we have in our community, this film festival for the 2nd annual, the films that were here and the promotion of filming in Simi Valley. But what was really cool is I was sitting next to our own Heidi DiNardo, who was called up. I don't think she knew this was going to happen. And they put a triple life-size photo of her on the screen, and they said, Heidi, tell us what you do. And she actually represented the city beautifully as she talked about filming, how quickly you can get film permits, how affordable it is, how she knows where to film, where not to film, just what a great resource we have here in the city. So kudos and thank you to Heidi for your work there. It was phenomenal. Friday, September 6th, Royal Simi football game. It was fabulous in the heat. Dee Dee, you weren't there.
Unfortunately, I knew what was going to happen.
It was a wonderful, and I will tell you that Royal High School scored 14 points. They were fabulous. Simi did much better, but it was quite a great game. And anyway, and so thank you for those that put it on and allowed us to be there and participate and represent. And finally, Sunday, September 8th, St. Rose of Lima Church had the Blue Mass, which was a wonderful gathering where they commemorate those who serve in government and specifically our first responders, their sacrifices, the fire and our firefighters and our police officers, and they pray for them and they give them support, and it was and appreciate being there to see that gathering of community in support of our first responders. Much appreciated. That night played with the Simi Orchestra of the Film Festival, and really lots of great things happening in our community. I'm sorry, I know it was a long report, but thank you for hearing me out. We live in a great community.
Councilmember Kavanagh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As Councilmember Litzer remarked, I attended the sad farewell reception for Jennifer Swenson from Adventist Health. I was very honored. Jennifer had called me and asked me to speak a few words. And as I had formerly served on both the foundation board and the governing board, and it was a bittersweet goodbye. I expressed my opinion in the Acorn, if you read that later. I feel it was not a good decision for Adventist Health Simi Valley. And I really don't know that we're going to get the same, well, I know we will not get the same one-on-one care and love with a CEO that serves another community in a bigger hospital. So, and I know she's a wonderful lady, but it's just not going to be the same. So I'm very, very sad that Jennifer is not our CEO anymore. And I will still fight for anything I can do for that. So, and I know Jill serves on the board currently. So it's been a very bittersweet. But it was a wonderful turnout. The entire community was there. And it was very nice. Jennifer was very appreciative. And she did a great job, and she didn't cry till the very end. So that was really, really, I couldn't have done that. So she did a very, very good job. I got to meet her mom. What a kick. Her mom is a sweetheart. The next thing I had was Thursday, August 29th. Oh, again, myself and my friend Jill Haney, we attended the Simi Valley Police Foundation's golf tournament. We're the annual golfer checker-inners. So we have a great time. It's a lot of fun. We get to see a lot of the repeat people and then meet a lot of new people. The chief was there along with a lot of our police officers. Canines were there for visiting. It's really, really good to see all the people that come out and really support our police department, community members, community businesses and such. It's nice to hear what they say and that they appreciate it. And we had an LAPD flyover. So if you heard the sirens and the lights going off, the LAPD helicopter came over and said hello. So anything else about that, Chief? It was a good day. Yeah, it turned out to be a really good day. It wasn't too hot. And we had Justin Hansinger sing at entertainment at the end. So it was really a good time. On Wednesday, September 4th, I had my executive board meeting for the EDC, the Economic Development Collaborative. We have some really, really great things coming up. I'll be ready to share them in the next 4 to 6 weeks, but we've got some major things on the back burner, so there's going to be a lot happening there. And, the reason I knew the banana thing is Kristen Dekas is the chair this year. I was chair last year, and she's also the CEO of the port. And so I keep telling her Simi Valley needs a port, but we're not getting one. But on September 28th, they're having their annual Banana Festival. So make sure you try and go out there. It's really a great thing. This past weekend, I sit on the VCAS commission, so we had to clear the shelters. I don't have the numbers yet, but I know if you go to our Facebook page, you see that the different dogs as they're getting adopted. And it's really, really heartwarming to see some of the longer shelter members being adopted out. And it's kind of heartwarming. Randy does a lot of the marketing. He does a really great job on videotaping and talking about the different things and really has some high energy. So hopefully we've got some good numbers. And there were free adoptions, but you can still go buy or go pay for an adoption. I'm sure there are still kitties and puppy dogs. And they usually have some bunnies. They usually have some bunnies and some turtles too. So you can have a little bit of everything. And then I also attended the Blue Mass at St. Rose of Lima. It's so nice of them to do that every year. Like Councilmember Lister said, they give a special blessing to the police officers and to the firefighters and to the electeds and the judges. And it just really makes you feel good, that the community is supporting us, and it's recognition that we're doing this for our community too. And the best part of the whole event, on the way out, my 2 grandsons were talking to Father Shea. They're not shy at all. And we were talking about, the little one says, my birthday's October 28th. And Father Shea goes, well, mine's November 9th. And I went, you're my birthday buddy. So Father Shea and I have the same birthday. I couldn't ask for a better birthday buddy, right? I didn't ask him who was older. We're just going with the day. But that was really enjoyable, and I really appreciate that St. Rose does that for us. So that's it from me, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Thursday, August 22nd, I attended, along with all my other colleagues, the farewell reception for Jennifer Swanson at Simi Valley Adventist Hospital. And I, too, agree that she's going to be very missed. She did a lot of work at that hospital to bring it up to the stellar healthcare place that it is now. And I'm just hoping they continue. That's all I'm saying. I do agree that it's better to have somebody here than trying to get a hold of somebody in Glendale. But hopefully that works out. I'm hoping it will. On Saturday, August 24th, I too attended the the third annual 13th Souls Memorial Run to pay tribute to those fallen Marines and soldiers and airmen. I don't think there was an airman, sailor. And a horrible event in our history, and I'm glad that John keeps that in our memory. It's very important to not forget that. On Thursday, August 29th, the two attended the Simi Valley Police Foundation Golf Tournament, just helping out over there, watching everybody have a really good time. Wasn't quite as hot that day as it has been, so it wasn't too bad. And on Thursday, September 5th, or Monday, September 2nd, I hope everybody had a great Labor Day. We did over at the Elks. We had a big party. Justin Honsinger was performing. It was a great time. On Thursday, September 5th, I attended the Southern California Association of Governments Regional Council Transportation Committee and Executive Action Committees, all in one day. Not too much relating to Simi Valley per se, but a lot of stuff going on in the region, talking about, you know, trucking, transportation stuff. It's very important that we get this right, because with the changes and the mandates coming from Sacramento, it could cause a lot of problems. You know, we've already lived through one bout of supply chain disruptions. We don't want to do that again. So hopefully we'll get this right when we switch over to a zero emissions vehicle to move freight around. On Friday, September 6th, I attended the Ventura County Transportation Committee in Camarillo, where we did discuss the barrier fence that's going up on the bridge that was given a presentation today about. I think it's a very important thing, because suicide claims a lot of victims, not just the person that dies, because everybody that knew that person, everybody that loved that person is also a victim. So it's a very important topic. And the amount of money being spent, it was amazing, because Caltrans doesn't think that's a big deal. So I'm happy for that, because it'll get done then, so that's perfect. And that's about the end of my report. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's going to be a lot of repeats on this. But just in case, on Monday, August 19th, in case I didn't say it in the last meeting, we had a meeting with the Lost Canyons getting a project update, and just to get that on the record in case we didn't do it last time. Tuesday, August 20th, I had the opportunity to sit through for interviews of our Assistant City Manager and Deputy City Manager, and I believe we'll have some announcements on that here shortly. Great candidates, super excited to see who will be joining our city. On Wednesday, August 21st, I had a quick Zoom meeting to go over what we were going to talk about on Thursday. And, I'm sorry, the Thursday a week ahead. On Thursday, August 22nd, I also attended the farewell for Jennifer Swenson. Well, a loss for the hospital, but a gain for flag football, as she is the coach of her kids' flag football team, and so I think that's going to take up most of her time. So, Friday, August 23rd, I did attend with Councilwoman Litster the New Beginnings Church Cafe opening, where I did pledge my expertise in coffee as a service to help them make it not only a beautiful space, which it is, but serve outstanding coffee. And hopefully that'll also be a service for the hospital across the street, where people can come and have a moment of calm over there. I did miss the 13 Sols run. I was at a wedding in San Diego over this weekend, which I enjoyed the wedding, but I wanted to be at the run as well. Monday, August 26th. Now this you're going to get the idea that I don't do anything. I just golf. But I was at the Sheriff's K-9 supporting golf tournament at Moore Park Country Club. Chief, I got to say, I'm comparing entrances at the beginning of the golf tournaments. Moore Park's entrance was a helicopter, circled the golf course, hovered over the 9th fairway. They repelled out a handler and a dog down to the fairway, let loose the dog to go get the guy in the suit. Pretty cool. At the Simi Hills Golf Tournament, LAPD does a flyover, runs their siren a little bit, that's good. But we had a full traffic stop, including pepper ball thing, and chase the guy down and fully arrest a guy. So it's toss-up, Chief.
Well, the foundation one didn't cost the taxpayers of Ventura any money.
Nice, well done. Nicely played. So Wednesday, August 28th, I attended the Chamber Legislative Affairs call, and yes, I did do some calls to action for some of our electeds. Thursday, August 29th, the Police Foundation Golf Tournament, which was fun. And since everybody else invoked Justin Hansinger, he was in my foursome. So I thought I don't want to let him slip from my report. Friday, August 30th, I was at the Port Hueneme tour. And since everybody else mentioned bananas, I thought I would give you from their brochure a fun fact. Over 5 billion bananas imported a year. If these bananas were lined up end to end, they would circle the world 13 times. So, fun fact. And Saturday, August 31st, my Rotary Club put on the Hot August Nights fundraiser at Strathern Ranch, which was a lot of fun to attend. Monday, September 2nd. Nope, nothing, sorry. Tuesday, September 3rd, attended another Zoom meeting preparing for Thursday's SCAG meetings on Thursday. As Mike said, 3 meetings all in a row. We have the executive meeting, our committee meeting, which mine is Community Economic and Human Development, and a regional council. Out of CEHD, the biggest topic of conversation, which is near and dear to CME, is the RHNA allocations, Regional Housing Needs Assessment, and that next cycle will be coming up, but between now and then, so 4 or 5 years from now, we're going to try and do reform so we can actually get the numbers and counting and assignments correct and better for the cities between now and then. At the actual regional council meeting, there was an interesting presentation on microtransit, and I brought that information to our city manager, who brought in our public works director, and we are going to get a presentation to council here soon on our microtransit offering that will be coming up early next year, and I'm hoping that my information to them lent some useful information that might inform that transit opportunity. Friday, September 6th, I was invited to speak at the Brown Bag Lunch at Royal High School. Prior to the actual speaking, though, it was pointed out it was pep rally day because of the big game, and so I wore my Royal Wrestling Dad shirt and stood out there in the sweltering heat for the pep rally, and then went in and spoke for the 5th time to the Brown Bag Lunch. At 4 o'clock that same day, city manager put together for me some intelligent staff that could help a city council person understand PERS and discount rates and trying to make sense out of that. And so thank you for that, and I now know how to address a Cal Cities issue. And Sunday, September 8th, I did do a stop by near the end of Cops and Cruisers to thank the melting people that came out to support the event and said thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody who was there, and then asked to be put in the dunk tank of ice water. And then today I had a meeting with our city attorney and city manager to discuss a resolution that we will be voting on that you've just today said that Mike and I can go vote on, that will be brought up to Cal Cities. And I now have a better understanding of that resolution and have some suggestions for improving it, which will be coming up in a committee meeting for me soon. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you. All right, we're almost there. Let's see here. Tuesday, August 20th, I also attended interviews for the admin portion of our city for assistant and deputy city manager. It was a brief 6.5-hour meeting, but it was really interesting and some amazing applicants, I got to tell you. Let's see here. Wednesday, August 21st, the city manager and I had a conversation with a production company that is going to produce a public television special on Simi Valley. And we're going to be able to give them input on that. So I think that's cool. And then in addition to that, part of that is going to be sent out to all their subscribers. And it was like hundreds of thousands, or maybe even, I don't know. I don't remember the number, but it should be really cool. And the host of the show will be Dennis Quaid. Let's see here. Saturday, August 24th, I also attended the third annual 13 Souls Memorial Run, and along with Elaine, had an opportunity to speak to the crowd. But I got to tell you, Jeff, the organizer, knew these soldiers, and it's his passion to this and commitment to every year remembering them is just unbelievable, and I really appreciate him and appreciate having that here. Thursday, August 29th, Chamber Tourism Alliance. There's good stuff happening there, and we're also going to get them involved in this public television special as well. Then we met with, I'm going to be generic about this because I don't know exactly what I can say, but we met with a company, an entertainment company that is planning on building over 300 entertainment centers around the United States, large, state-of-the-art, high-tech entertainment centers. We're talking like a 40,000 square foot facility, and their plan is to put the first one in Simi Valley. So I think hopefully that materializes. It's because it sounded really cool. I mean, for kids and adults. See, Friday, August 30th, had a C-level meeting with a company here in Simi Valley, River Plate Incorporated. Got a tour. It was really interesting. Learned a lot about, some of the challenges they've had. Asked them what we could do to help them better, and they said they've had nothing but positive experiences, so that worked. Let's see here. Thursday, September 5th, I attended the Association of Water Agencies meeting along with a staff member. Yeah, and yeah, let me share the highlights. And that's it. Sunday, September 8th, I attended the St. Rose of Lima Blue Mass. I think you've already heard about it, but I thought that was, amazing what they do to honor our police and firefighters. And then they asked the 3 council members that were there to come up. They thanked us for what we do and gave us a blessing. And then as we were exiting down the stage, 4 steps down, I remembered 3 of them and then had an opportunity to show off my acrobatic abilities. Apparently you're not supposed to do a somersault in the middle of a church service. And then Sunday, September 8th, attended also the Cops and Cruisers Car Show, which was packed this year. It was a fantastic event. If it wasn't for the fact that when I got there, it was 109. And that is the end of my report. So, at this point, I want to see if there is a call for any future agenda items.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I just want to say one thing about, I forgot to mention it earlier, and I just want to say it before we leave. I have no agenda items, but I want to thank you and Samantha for putting the Service Club Month proclamation out this month, because many people don't know that our service clubs do so much around the city of Simi Valley that you're unaware of. They also, not only do they raise money for charities all over our city, the Rotary Club, for example, puts on the Cajun Festival. They put on the Happy Face Hill Festival. They put on the Oktoberfests. The Kiwanis Club puts on the Roundup. Those things are done by these volunteer organizations. So, and also our 4th of July. The city pays for the fireworks, Park Department donates the park, but they put on the work to put these events on in our city. So if you know people that are in these clubs, please say thank you, because they do a lot of work for our city.
Did you have?
I don't know if it'll be an agenda item or not, but Ron, you're still here. I know we're inputting some new left turn signals. Going to the golf tournament at Alamo and Tapa, we have a new apartment complex. We don't have left turn signals on the east-west, only north and south. I'd really like to look at having that done because that intersection is going to become very busy. And if you're trying to make a left onto Tapo, it's going to be 1 or 2 cars and there's going to be accidents. So I think if we can get either controlled or something, I don't know what's planned, Ron. You may already have some plans. You're the engineering guy.
He has an answer.
Okay.
Public Works Director, Ron Fujiwara.
Yeah, as a part of the development requirements, we are putting in left turn phasing in the east-west direction. I think the developer had to contribute a certain amount of money, and then we'll use traffic impact fees to pay for the rest of it. But
Perfect.
that's coming subsequently, probably within a year or something.
Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that. And thank you for putting up all the reflective lights on all of our intersections. I've been seeing them do that.
Councilmember Lidster.
Thank you. So last council meeting, we had an entirely full council chamber. I'm going to read this just so that I'm accurate. To discuss the expansion renovation of the Islamic Center on Township. And I felt like the biggest concern of the residents in the area was the current traffic and parking problems, which will only get worse when this is built, or when the building takes place. And I will tell you, it was of particular concern to the residents who lived on Arlington, which is right across the street. Anyway, I learned in that conversation that Township is considered a collector road, ostensibly to collect residents from neighborhoods and funnel them to major roads, in this case, Tapo Canyon, Tapo Street. So I visited that road years ago, quite a bit in advance of that, and then again even today, because I want to be sure I was being accurate. I was concerned when I observed that much of the south side of Township has no parking or no stopping signs placed, basically guaranteeing that overflow parking from the Township Elementary, Baseball Diamonds, other churches, et cetera, goes down to Arlington into the neighborhoods. And so I learned just recently from a resident of that area that the south side of Township is actually city-owned property, which has not been finished. And so much of that no parking area, some of that, I shouldn't say much, that no parking area is actually gravel that is not, there's not curb, there's not gutter, but there are no parking signs there, or no stopping signs. And I think that we as a city need to look at completing that road, actually putting curb and gutter and allowing residents to park there, or attendees to park there. I think it will do a little bit. Obviously, it won't fix the problem, but to allow for parking for the events from the baseball, Islamic Center, et cetera. It'll finish it, and if it really is a collector road, which is supposed to be a sizable a road that helps get, it will make it actually a finished road, and you'll see that there's a stretch that, and I may be wrong, but I believe I'm told it's owned by the city, and so I think we need to look at what it would take to get that completed and then parkable. That would only help that area. So that's what I'd like us to look at. I don't know if that's an agenda item. I don't know if that's a report. Just do it, Ron. Make it happen.
So staff actually looked into this after our conversation. I asked them to take a look. And so for that area, in order to do the construction and the widening, to incorporate a sidewalk and curbs and ramps, it would be about a $300,000 project. And we'd have to add that to our work list. So if that's something that the council is interested in, we can certainly bring that back.
Well, I think if you go look at it, you'll see literally it's gravel. The road just falls. There's not even a curb there on that south side. And anyway, given the number of people who are concerned about what's going there, I think it behooves us to be responsible to look at finishing that road. That's my thoughts. So I don't know if there's consensus to at least look at it further. And I don't know, does it take a second to actually go forward with this, or does it or to at least look at it, or what are the steps?
It would be a second
Do I need to
put
do
it
a
on the agenda.
PowerPoint with pictures?
I would second putting that on. I'd like to understand how many parking spaces we would actually net from that and what the traffic impact might be.
And I think it would be good for us to look at what it looks like too, just visually, especially if it's our responsibility. I assumed it was neighbors that just never finished that never developed. And when I learned that we owned that land, I felt we had a responsibility.
Does that require a vote?
No, you got a second.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, so with that, I believe we are done. I would like to adjourn tonight's meeting in memory of Robert Bob Speldman, Ron Jackowitz, and San Diego Police Officer Austin McIntyre. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice evening, and if you've got a sweet tooth, we've got some sweets up here if you're interested.
Party time. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.